What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. That, of course, is the Alexis Arguello puppet.
And I'm your boy, Frank Benji's, the incumbent, back to step in for a minute.
Yes, and we got a great episode. Been trying to run this guy down for a minute now. Finally got him. Looking forward to chopping it up with him, man. Northeast, that's how we build him. We're going to talk about it with this guy right now because that is how we build him in the Northeast. We don't fuck around up here, man.
No.
If you're coming out of Philly,
You were born tough.
or not, sorry, I don't mean to talk disparagingly about. And there he is. We finally made this happen with Danny Bodish. We finally ran him down. Hey, I don't know how many times we've had to reschedule, man, but I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. It's nice to meet you finally too.
Yeah,
I appreciate
you too, man.
working with my schedule and everything.
Hey, listen, man, I got a schedule too, man, and it is sometimes a major burden. You know what, Danny? I don't want to schedule anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to go back to being your age.
Yeah.
But listen, man, it's an honor, man. I always see your content coming up, man. So, I mean, you're doing something right, man, because you're really getting your name out there. I see your training videos. I see everything that you're doing on there, man. So, from a promotion standpoint, man, you're doing big things.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I mean, I got the guidance of a Hall of Fame trainer with Tommy. You know what I mean? So, I trust that guy with my boxing life. So, whatever he says goes.
And of course, you referred to the great Tom Yankello. I've had Paul Spadafora on here a couple times, man. He's a friend of the show, man. He's always got great things to say about Tom.
Yeah. Paul's the man. We actually before my last fight, I just improved to 5-0. But a couple weeks before I fought, we were down in Vegas, so I got a chance to see Paul, catch up with him a little bit. He's a good dude.
Yeah, very.
It's amazing to have you, man, because I just want to say, like, how he said about seeing all your content and stuff. You know, me and my dad talk boxing all the time, and you just kind of like came on both of our radar, like within the last, 6 or 8 weeks. And the content that you've been pouring out is incredible. And the skills that you're showing in it looks masterful.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now, how early did you get a pair of boxing gloves on, man? Did you come to this kind of late? Because I thought I saw you on one other podcast. You know, you're not out there doing a lot of them, man. But boxing wasn't the first avenue you were taking?
I was in the boxing gym at 8 years old. My dad and my grandfather were both fighters. I went on a good amateur run. I have 109 amateur fights. So I was chasing a national title. I won 2 PA state Golden Glove titles.
Okay.
And then I ended up turning pro last year in October, and it's working out for me so far.
But what were you doing before that, though, man? Did I understand on one of those things that you were like a salesman or selling insurance? Were you involved in insurance somehow?
Yeah. I'm a licensed insurance agent. So I was selling life insurance, actually.
Okay.
So I got a little bit of a sales background, but once I made the switch to turn professional in boxing, I kind of put everything on pause. So I'm still licensed and everything. I'm collecting a little bit of residual checks here and there.
Okay.
Just past sales and stuff, but I got everything on pause right now.
And so you can beat these guys' asses and then sell them life insurance.
Exactly.
Or maybe beforehand.
I was going to say, you want to sell it beforehand.
Beforehand is when you need the life insurance.
Yeah, right.
And now for people that haven't seen what you do, you are 5-0, 2 knockouts. How would you assess your style? I mean, what would you tell people? Hey, here's what to expect. You know, some guys are tacticians, technical boxers, knockout artists, boxer punchers. What would you typify your style?
I would say I'm a technician on the inside.
Yeah.
I'm an aggressive fighter. I push the pace. I control the middle of the ring, and I like to fight on the inside. I like all.
Yeah, that's actually something. That's actually something that I happen to notice, that it looks like you fight very well in the phone booth.
Yeah.
I'm most comfortable on the inside. I feel I'm able to stuff a lot of shots. I know how to pull guys' guards. I know how to shuffle shots on the inside to the body, and I like I said, I'm a comfortable inside fighter. I feel like I'm able to roll with a lot of the punches, take some of the power off the punches. Like even if I'm getting clipped, I'm rolling with the brunt of the shot. And as you guys know, like from a distance, especially when you're fighting a taller, lanky guy, you get caught on the end of that shot. That's where like people start going to sleep and stuff. So I feel most comfortable on the inside, 100%.
Now, is that a Tom Yankello thing? Because obviously, for people that don't know, Paul Spadafora was one of those guys. He took a bullet in the Achilles, if people don't know his story. So he wasn't a guy that really was dancing and moving all the ring, but he's a guy that could stay right in front of you and still just make you miss all night.
Yeah, I feel like Tommy is able to adapt depending on the fighter. So, like, for me, the inside game just works best for me because I am shorter. I'm a little bit more compact. But then we have guys like Keontae Irving at our gym or Ivan Ditchko, his heavyweight. Like those guys are taller, lankier guys. So he trains them more so to fight at a distance.
Yeah. And so you said you got the gloves on at 8 years old. Were there guys that you were watching on TV? We had those sports heroes. Were there guys that you were looking at and trying to emulate, guys that you were looking up to?
I love Julio Cesar Chavez, even though he was way before my time.
Yeah.
I always watched Julio. I love Julio Cesar Chavez, Roberto Duran. I steal stuff off Roberto, like all that inside hand pulling, stuff in the punches and stuff. I like Roberto, but when I was coming up, I mean, Floyd Mayweather was the biggest name in boxing at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I definitely always watched Floyd. Now I like Caleb Plant. I did like Gervonta. He disappointed me his last fight.
Yeah.
But, and then Crawford. You know what I mean? Crawford. He's a beast.
And now, when you say Tank disappointed you, do you feel like he lost it sounds like your feeling is he lost the Lamont Roach fight.
It was. I definitely gave Lamont the fight. To be honest, I mean,
I did too.
Lamont controlled. I felt like controlled the fight, and then when he went down and took that knee, I mean, Lamont won the fight. Like that should have been rolled a knockdown, and Lamont would have won the fight. You know what I mean? So
the old hair grease in the eye.
Yeah,
the old hair grease in the eye routine.
Yeah,
but Danny, I'm gonna just tell you right now, buddy. I'm really impressed with you. Duty calls, buddy. I got kids. I got to take off, but I wanted to hop in here and see you for a minute because I'm impressed with you, and I can't wait to see what your future holds. But I'm gonna let my dad do his thing, and I can't wait to see what you got in the future, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it.
Good to talk to you, man.
Sign off, my boy. All right. Yeah, all right, man. So, and now, if you're not familiar with the podcast, I've done over 260 episodes. The first 160, actually, my son did co-host. Then it got a little hard. He has 4 small children, so it got a little hard for him to keep on popping on here a lot. You can hear he's got a lot going on in the background. He actually used to have to disappear out into his car and do the interviews on his end. So, and then sometimes he'd get to knock on the window. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, so you guys got your hands full. 4 grandkids, then you got.
I have 6 total. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I have 6 total. But so for you, obviously, Tom Yankello has you prepared for these fights, man. But what is your own individual preparation like? As far as like, do you watch a lot of video on your opponents, or do you just kind of leave it up to your team? Are you a guy that studies your opponents a lot?
I don't study. I don't like fully invest into like studying my opponent as long as I know whether he's an orthodox fighter or a southpaw fighter, and then me and Tommy will try to watch like their most recent fight, like their last fight, and I mean I'll maybe watch it once or twice and just kind of get a gist of like who I'm fighting and their style of fight.
Right.
But no, I don't really do too much like film study on my opponents.
And now, do you get concerned at all? I've been critical of this on my podcast many times. People that know and watch and have subscribed to the channel know, boxing scoring, oftentimes still a disaster. As a young fighter, obviously, if you're on the wrong end of one of these awful decisions, it can change the trajectory of your career. Big fights going forward, your financial stake in the sport. When fights go to the cards, is it anything that you have in the back of your mind? How do you deal with it? Is it a legit worry?
Yeah, there's always that little worry, you know what I mean, of like a robbery when it goes to like decision and stuff. But I mean, my last two recent fights, I won a unanimous decision in both of them. So there's always that little like hesitation when they're reading off the scorecards,
Yeah.
stuff like. I hope they don't screw me here, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're putting the work into the gym, and I feel fully confident going into the fights. And if it does go to decision, I feel confident that I will get the decision as well. So that's something that like the robbery stuff. That's just something I can't control.
Right.
Tommy always tells me control what you can control, and that's my mindset and my emotions. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. It's good advice. It's good advice. Now, at 26 years old, where do you feel like you are in terms of like your prime? Do you feel like you're not at it yet? Do you feel like you're in the midst of it?
I feel like I'm like about to get there for sure. But
Yeah.
I think there's always something to learn. At the end of the day, boxing's endless. So I feel like there's always something to improve on. But physically, I do feel like I'm the strongest I've ever been. I'm the fastest I've ever been. But we're gonna keep staying in the gym, sharpening everything up, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, 100%. I feel like I'm at my best right now.
And where do you feel like your ceiling is in terms of, you mentioned not being a tall guy in stature. Where do you feel like your ceiling is as far as exploring other weight classes? You're currently at super featherweight?
Yeah, so I can make 122, but I've been fighting up in weight just
Okay.
because to stay active and keep getting fights right now. But where I want to contend for a title is probably 122, 126. My
Okay.
last two fights have been at 130. So I can like I've been fighting up. I walk around like 33, 34.
Okay.
So it's not really like a big weight cut for me to make the 130. But once we start stepping up in competition and I want to contend for a title, we're gonna probably go down to 122, 126.
And I like you're saying contend for a title. I'm wondering, have you and your team discussed a timeline on when you feel like you'll be throwing your hat into the ring for a world title? I know you're only 5-0, not to push the pace of anything, but we are seeing guys, in title fights with a lot less fights under their belt. I always use Keyshawn Davis as an example. His 13th fight, he's winning a WBO, 135-pound title. Have you thought about how many fights, are we looking at 2026, 2027? How many fights under your belt until you feel like, is it a play it by ear type thing?
Yeah, I would say it's a more play it by ear because, like you mentioned, Keyshawn, and I mean he has he's got a silver medal in his backpack. You know what I mean?
True.
So
yeah,
that's a reason why he could have like got up to that world title level pretty quick. But I would say, I mean, God willing, everything goes the way me and Tommy wanted to. I would say by 2026, 2027, we're starting to step up in competition, and hopefully I'm able to get my name in like the top 10 in the world, and I get a chance for a title for sure.
Now, what was the impetus for getting you into a boxing gym? I hear a lot of stories as to how guys find their way to a boxing gym. A lot of times, more often than not, it's guys who are getting in a lot of fights as kids, a lot of street fights, a lot of scuffles at school, on the streets or whatever. Not always a story, but it is the story quite a bit. A lot of fathers getting them, into the gym. What was it? What was it for you?
It was my dad, actually. My dad, like I mentioned previously, my dad was a boxer. He was an amateur fighter. And then my grandfather was a professional boxer as well. He finished his career at 9-1-1. And my dad actually knew Tommy Yankello just through his boxing background.
Okay.
So my dad was the one that actually took me up to Tommy's gym. But before I went to Tommy, I actually started at a gym of the north side of Pittsburgh. It was called Steel City Boxing.
Okay.
And that was the first gym I ever walked into. And from when the first day, I fell in love with it. I loved just the grittiness of the boxing gym, the competitiveness and everything like that. But it was my dad. my dad got me into it for sure.
And was there anybody who was, because oftentimes I do hear dads obviously a little more enthusiastic about bringing their sons to a boxing gym. Oh, my son's a fighter. You know what I mean? It sounds great. You know, I'm a father and a grandfather myself. But was there anybody who was warning you against it? You know, like sometimes moms might not be so excited about their son getting punched in the face for a living. Was there anybody that said, Danny, do we really, do you really want to go this route? Can we think of something else?
Yeah. I would, my grandmas, both my grandmas on on my dad's side and my mom's side. They always wanted, they were like, they don't want to see me getting bruises on my face.
Yeah.
So they definitely weren't like for it, but, they didn't really have a choice at the end of the day.
Right. And so, with Tom Yankello, what do you feel like? What do you feel like are the things that he's taught you that have been the most pertinent to your success so far? If you could single out a couple things that Tom like really has driven home for you.
I would say just discipline and the passion, the love for the sport.
Yeah.
Being around Tommy, it's a different type of energy he brings to the gym, because this is all he does. He eats, sleeps boxing. You know what I mean? So being around him and seeing his drive for wanting to be at the top, because I do wholeheartedly, I feel like he's the best trainer in the entire world. But he's not just a trainer, he's a teacher, he's a nutritionist. So like everything that he does and that he's taught me to this point has just been making me a better boxer and just a better person as a whole. You know what I mean? So I feel like being around Tom and just seeing his passion for the sport just lights a fire under my ass a little bit more, just because of how much that guy loves what he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what would you like your activity like level to be like how many times have you already fought in 2025?
I have think it's 3 fights.
And how active would you like to be the rest of the way? How many more are you planning on trying to get in?
I'm hoping that we get another 3 fights in by the end of the year. I have a fight scheduled in October, and then we're hoping we can maybe get one September beforehand.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, then it looks like I'll be able to get on a show in December. So I'm hoping that I get 3 more fights in by the end of the year.
And what would you like to accomplish in the sport? Like, you know, and again, I always use these fighters as examples. If you're thinking about the legacy you want to create, like we see a guy like Manny Pacquiao, he captured titles in 8 different weight classes. You know, I mean, he ran the gamut through a lot of weight classes. Then we see a guy like Bud Crawford, not as many weight classes, but he seems to like to become undisputed when he does stop at weight classes, gather up all the belts or whatever. You know, for you, what are your goals? What would you like the legacy to be? What are you looking to accomplish in the sport?
I want to win a world title, and I want to defend it. I feel like I have the skills to get to the top of the world and win a world title and put my skills on display for everybody to see. Because I don't feel like these guys today know how to fight on the inside. So I want to get to the top, and I want to be able to display my skills at a high level and show that I do have one of the best boxing teams in the game right now. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And
now we talked about Spatty. Are there some other guys who you particularly honed in on and study, you know, to kind of help you, like with this, you know, as you put it, this ability to fight on the inside and really not be dancing and running all over the ring? You're kind of there in front of your opponent. A guy that comes to mind for me is a guy I've had on the show, a guy like James Toney.
Oh yeah, James. I mean, he's the guy that started the shoulder roll. I feel like. I mean, James was a slick dude. He was very slick, and
he's another guy like Spatty that could be right in front of you and just making you miss all night.
Right, exactly. Like he was very slippery on the inside too, like with that shoulder roll and everything. But like I said, I love Roberto Duran, and I love his style of fighting, and his meanness in the ring.
Yeah.
I study Roberto all the time.
I like
Roberto
that
Duran.
I like that you're saying that too, because there aren't a lot of guys, man, who make that point. I remember hearing an interview with Oscar De La Hoya once. Nice guy outside of the ring, a good-looking guy, big flashy smile or whatever, but knows how to hit that mean. So, people would say, Oscar can't really trash talk very good. He's known for his boyish good looks. You know what I mean? He looks like he'd be a soft guy, but then people look across the ring before the fight starts and they say it was almost like a switch and he had you got to have a mean streak.
Yeah, you do. In this sport, there's guys dying in this sport. Like you do not play boxing. You know what I mean? Like you're going in there, and I give credit to anybody that does step in that ring, because it's a tough thing. Like all eyes are on you, and if you're not doing the right things outside the boxing gym, it's gonna show. It shows, unfortunately, in the ring. Boxing is not a forgiving sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the flaws that you're doing outside the ring, it kind of comes to life in the ring. You know what I mean?
Are there any guys, like you made mention, that you'd like to bring back that art that boxing is lacking, guys willing to fight on the inside? A lot of guys don't have, that wrinkle in their game. Are there any guys doing it right now that you see that do have it? Are there guys that are able to successfully do that?
I would say Canelo.
Yeah.
Is probably honestly just Canelo, to be honest with you. Like
the last of a dying breed.
Yeah. Like I feel like Canelo, and then Crawford knows how to do some sneaky things on the inside too and stuff. But I feel like Canelo is like his inside game. When he first started his career, like he's starting to slow down a little bit now, I feel like. But
yeah,
I feel like Canelo is really good and sneaky on the inside with like the subtle little things he does.
Yeah.
Especially with his head placement, his hand placement, and everything like that. I would say Canelo for sure.
Now, when you're studying guys like Roberto Duran and Julio Cesar Chavez, amazing guys to study. You really seem like you've got, for a young guy, kind of an old soul. You're looking back at older guys. You're studying, some of the legends of the sport, right now. So I'm wondering where you stand on these Jake Paul fights. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the old heads, don't like how he's just coming to boxing, getting these huge paydays. I guess you got to respect the fact that he climbs through the ropes and puts his personal health at risk or whatever. But do you look at him and give him the respect as a boxer? And the second part of that, do you see him as a guy that could potentially ever have a world title?
I don't think he's to the second part. I don't think that he's on that level yet to win a world title, but I do really respect what Jake's doing for the sport. Like the last Olympics, he funded the entire boxing team for the Olympics. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Just the last woman show that he did with Alicia Baumgartner.
Yeah.
Katie Taylor. I think that he's doing big things for the sport, and I think that he's bringing more eyes to the sport as well, just because, I mean, he's getting in there and he's getting these big money fights, but he also set himself up for success with the huge following that he has. So I can't hate on the dude really at all, because he's doing it the right way. And I feel like he's good for the sport, because he has such a huge following with like all these young kids. So it's kind of like making boxing big again, and young kids now want to box because they watch Jake Paul, they watch his YouTubes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's doing good things for the sport.
Just like they always say, right? All publicity is good publicity, right? I mean, he's bringing eyes. He's bringing eyes to the sport,
100%.
Now, the next big fight that we're going to see, certainly being labeled as a super fight. I don't know if it'll rival, Floyd and Pacquiao or Floyd and Conor McGregor, but we are just about a month away from seeing Canelo, who you just mentioned, and Crawford. Just obviously, these questions are subjective. Your opinion, how do you see that fight shaking out?
I see Crawford winning the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be a real competitive fight, but I see Crawford pulling it out on the scorecards toward the end of the fight. I think that Crawford has very good ring IQ. I mean, Canelo obviously does as well, but I just think Crawford's skill set is on another level right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I think I give Crawford the edge in that fight.
Now you seem like a guy who, who's pretty calculated, who seems to have who seems to go into things, with a game plan intact. Have you given a lot of thought to? I've had guys on here who have mapped out their career even down to the point of knowing how many fights they'd like to have or what age they would like to be exiting the sport at. Have you thought about it? Have you thought about your career to that level? Like, I don't want to fight past this age, or I don't want to fight more than X amount of fights.
Honestly, I haven't really thought of it.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm kind of just riding this wave right now.
Yeah.
And I'll see where it goes. But I always told myself I'm going to retire from boxing. I'm not going to let boxing retire me.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Yeah, that's a good plan because I obviously the after effects of boxing are not always great for everybody. You know, it can do a lot of damage, long-term damage. You know, you want to get out when you still can have your faculties.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know, that's important.
But I haven't really thought that far ahead yet. I've definitely thought about where I want to be in the next couple of years, and that's definitely at the top and with a title, and I want to defend my title.
And have you given much thought to what life looks like after you're done competing in the ring? Do you feel like you'll make a clean break? Are you interested in doing other things, or do you feel like you'll always keep a foot in boxing? Are you interested in like promoting or coaching and training yourself?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I love the sport of boxing, so I never see myself fully walking away from the sport.
Yeah.
Whenever I do, like, I'm not competing anymore, I feel like if the opportunity comes and presents itself for like me to open my own gym or have like a promotional company, that's something that I would love to do and help the new generation of fighters get their name out there too. You know what I mean? So I never see myself fully walking away from the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
But we never know. So
what do you think of the the imprint that a guy like Turki Al-Sheikh has made on the sport? Obviously, he made some waves about a month ago, like when he said, I don't want to see any more of these Tom and Jerry fights. Now, obviously, like from doing this for a long time, a lot of guys develop their style in the gym. If they're a guy that uses their legs, if they're a guy that moves around the ring a lot, they're probably not going to change that. They've probably been doing that ever since they started their career. Sometimes people might say it's not fan-friendly, it's not fun to watch, it's not crowd-pleasing, but it is who these guys are. You know what I mean? As a fighter yourself, do you take umbrage with that and say, who is this guy to tell fighters how to fight?
No, I don't, because at the end of the day, he is paying these guys.
Right.
So
good point.
He wants to see the fights he wants to see. Like he would just set like with the Shakur Stevenson Williams Zepeda fight. I don't really see Shakur as a runner. I don't either. Maybe a couple fights, like he maybe moved around the ring more, but I give him credit for his ring IQ. But when he just fought Zepeda, he sat there and he exchanged with Zepeda, and he put on an absolute clinic that night too. So, as far as like the Tom and Jerry fights, Turkey's saying he's a fan of boxing. You know what I mean? So he wants to see the fights he wants to see, and he likes competitive fights. So I would say that's just his opinion, and I think that whenever I get up to the high level, he's gonna like my style fighting.
Yeah. yeah. And you land on those cards. That's where the money is, though. It is, man. You made a good point right there, man. I mean, he is getting these guys paid, and he is giving us events that, like where, the old model like used to be like you'd pay for a pay-per-view and you'd get a great main, maybe a great co-main, and then maybe you'd get 3 or 4 subpar fights. Now he's really giving us stacked cards top to bottom, great matchups, you know what I mean? So you are getting bang for your buck, and now it looks like you don't even have to pay for him no more. He's doing away with the pay-per-view model.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I guess that's going to go to effect here pretty soon. I think
November. That next Ring 4 card is going to take effect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then like they're putting these shows on Netflix now too.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you have a subscription, you already got the fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's one of the biggest platforms in the world right now is Netflix. Everybody has Netflix.
Yeah. What kind of psycho out there doesn't have Netflix, for God's sakes?
Right. Even if you don't have Netflix, I feel like you know somebody that has Netflix.
Yeah. You just get their password.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I think boxing's going in a good direction right now.
I agree. Yeah,
I think it's getting big again. Like whenever like Roberto Duran was fighting, like boxing was the biggest sport in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you knew who your champions were. You identified these guys. Like these guys were larger than life. They were public personas.
Right, 100%. And I feel like boxing's going in that direction again with all these stars in the sport now today too. I think it's going in a good way right now.
What about what Turkey said a while back about like wanting to maybe strip back, all those weight classes and go to the standard ones? You know what I mean? Like I think he was talking about like a lot of those in between ones. Go for you're either a welterweight or you're a middleweight. There's no like 154 pounds or anything like that. And he also wanted to strip back, not have as many belts. You know what I mean? Like, what do you feel like your opinion on those two things?
I feel like there are like too many weight classes. So I like that model where like kind of like get them catch weights out of here and stuff.
Yeah.
And like these are the weight classes and that's it. If you don't make the weight, then you're not fighting. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I do like that. Honestly, I like that. I didn't hear he wanted to do that, but I think that's a good thing to do.
I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done. And what about the belts? Where do you stand on the belts? Too many belts at these weight classes, do you think?
I mean, I think there are a lot of belts, but I feel like it's a good thing for the sport though as well because the belts is what brings the money. You know what I mean? So if these guys are putting the money behind these belts and they want these champions to have their belt, I feel like it makes sense. It makes sense for the sport. But I mean, I feel like boxing's always had all kinds of belts, like the 4 big belts.
Right.
So I don't really want to like shy away from that because I just feel like that's just boxing. You know what I mean? Like that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
But if there does come a time to where like there's one belt in every division, like UFC type thing, I mean I wouldn't be against it, but I think the 4 belts, it's a good thing for the sport because then you have 2 guys who have maybe the belts, you know what I mean? So they gotta fight each other. So now we're seeing like champions fight each other, you know what I mean? But
right.
Yeah, I think that's just like you don't change things that have always been. You know what I mean? It's boxing's always had like all kinds of belts in it. So
yeah, and those belts do help, man, because even when you collect those regional ones, it does help catapult you to that next stage too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It does help. It does help. And now, did you when you went into a boxing gym for the first time? Obviously, like it's kind of in the family genealogy. You know what I mean? You had people in your family before you that boxed. Do you feel like it came naturally to you? You know what I mean? Like, did you get in the gym and realize, wow, I got hands like right from the get-go? Were you an athletic kid?
I feel like I was pretty athletic. Yeah, I was like in different sports, like football. I wrestled as well. So, and then like at home, my dad always worked with me. We had a heavy bag at our house.
Yeah.
So it was like when I got into the boxing gym for the first time, I was like maybe like one step ahead of everybody else that was in the boxing gym, just because my dad was working with me. And yeah, I definitely felt like I had good hands as a kid. But what's crazy actually is my first 8 amateur fights, I lost all of them. I lost all of them, and I didn't get my first win until my 9th amateur fight. And
Wow.
that's just experience. I mean, maybe a couple of those decisions I was on the wrong end of the stick, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
these decisions and stuff. But it honestly it motivated me to get back into the gym and get a win. You know what I mean? I wasn't about to not stop boxing because I couldn't get a win those first 8 fights. So
And I think that shows a lot right there, because I think a lot of young guys would have probably said, "Damn, this is just not clicking for me," and probably gave up. Man, that shows a lot of perseverance on your part. Did you ever go back and look at those fights and assess them and see anything that was wrong that you had to tweak? Are you able to put a finger on why you were losing those fights?
Like I said, a couple of them I felt like I just kind of I was on the wrong end of the stick, but
you got hosed a little.
Yeah, there's always things to get better at. Like even just my last pro fight. Like me and Tommy are going back watching the film. Oh, I could have done this here. I could have did this better. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've always been big on studying my own film and cleaning things up and not making the same mistake twice. You know what I mean? So yeah, 100%. I feel like when I went back and watched those fights, I could have been maybe a little bit more active, especially in the amateurs. You know, it's only 3 rounds.
Right.
So you pretty much need to go out there and throw as many punches as you can
Right.
to fight. You know what I mean? So I definitely could have been more active. I could have threw straighter punches like when I was younger. Like everything's coming off a little wild.
Looping them a little, yeah.
Yeah, looping it a little bit. But yeah, there's always things that you go back and watch your film. There's always things to clean up.
And now, what do you feel like right now? Like without giving away too much of your game plan, although people can go on and certainly watch your fights or whatever. What do you feel like? Aside from that, that innate ability, to be in front of your opponent, and fight in close quarters at a high level. What else do you feel like are parts of your game that you're extremely proud of? And second part of that, are there things in the gym that you're consciously going in and working on that you would like to improve in your game?
Yeah, 100%. I would say my footwork is big because before I got to Tommy, I thought I knew how to step and punch.
Yeah,
I really didn't though.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like my footwork, my head movement, and like I said, my inside game, I just feel like is on a different level than these guys today.
Yeah.
So I would say my footwork, my head movement, and then things I need to work on in the gym is my jab, and then just cutting distance better without getting clipped on the way in. You know what I mean? So
now, do you feel like when you say your jab, do you feel like it's the power of your jab or using it more?
Using it more.
Okay.
Using it more, different jabs, because I feel like I got pretty good power, but your lead hand, if you got a good lead hand in boxing, you can go around the world with that thing. So I feel like the jab is the most important punch.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I tell people all the time, man, Paulie Malignaggi won 2 world championships with just a jab pretty much.
Right. So I feel like when we go into the gym, Tommy's always having me work on the jab, up jabs, over jabs, flick jabs, body jabs. So I feel like the jab is the biggest thing I work on in the gym on a day-to-day basis.
And what about the mindset? When did you know that you had the mindset? Because obviously it's very tough to climb through those ropes and have a confrontation with another man. I think most people in the regular world, like go out of their way to avoid confrontation. It's the fight or flight thing, right? Usually we go out of our way. We don't want any static with somebody. To be able to climb into a ring willingly, you got to have a special kind of mindset. When did you realize that you had that? Obviously the physical tools you can learn, you can be taught. Some of them obviously are God-given. They might come natural to you. But when did you know you had this mindset to fight?
I feel like I always had it, because one of my biggest downfalls is I can be a little bit of a hothead.
Yeah.
So I got that little bit of like a mean streak behind me.
Yeah.
And I grew up with 2 brothers too. I have a little brother and I have an older brother. And we're always wrestling, fighting.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty big family too, with a bunch of cousins and stuff. So it came honestly pretty natural to me. Like when I first got into the boxing gym, like it was like, yeah, it was like another day. You know what I mean? But now we can actually, I can punch someone and not get in trouble for it. You know what I mean?
That's always nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like boxing came pretty natural to me, honestly. And I fell in, like I said earlier, I fell in love with it whenever I first walked into the boxing gym. Just the competitive side to it. And there's always something to get better at. And then my dad loves this boxing as well. So that definitely fueled me too.
And now, conspicuously, I haven't been able to find a boxing nickname for Danny Bodish. Is there one?
Not yet. Not
yet.
I'm not gonna give myself one. I'm gonna let the people give it to me. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's the right approach right there, man. It's too lame to give yourself one. Someone's got to dub you something.
Right. Yeah. So if the people give me one and it sticks, then it sticks. If not, I like my name. I like
yeah. And listen, I don't blame you. It's rare nowadays, man, for guys not to, man. But then there's something cool about it. You know what I mean? Like there are guys that just, who just go like with their regular. Shakur doesn't have a nickname.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he's probably like pound for pound one of the best in the world right now. In my opinion, he's pound for pound the best.
Yeah. But, and now when you're in training camp, go ahead.
I'd like for the people to give it to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like
that is the way.
I feel like it's a little corny to give yourself a nickname.
It is. It is. I agree with you. And so when you're in training camp, are you in training camp right now? Is that why you're down in the down south a little bit?
No, actually, I'm just on a family vacation. Actually,
okay.
Just a little break. I'm always getting my runs in and stuff down here. But when I get back from this little trip here, my next fight's going to be in October, so we're going to start turning it back up here. So
and currently, you do not know who that opponent is right now, correct?
We potentially we're just waiting on the contract to be sent back.
Okay.
October is going to be my first 8-rounder.
Okay.
So we're stepping up in rounds again. Okay. Which I'm excited about because I feel like the more rounds, the better for me. I have more time to break these guys down.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing set in stone yet.
But when you do get those fights sometimes, and you look on BoxRec sometimes, and you see the TBA, does that ever make you nervous, man? Like, do you like to know who the guy is and not have that uncertainty?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I always, no matter who the opponent is, there's always that little bit of nerves. You know what I mean? But no, it doesn't matter to me.
As long as you're doing you and doing what you got to do, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And like I said, I go back to control what you can control. And unfortunately, that's not something I can't control. So whoever the matchmaker of the show is sets me up with an opponent. We're taking the fight. We're not shying away from anybody.
Listen, man, that piece of advice from Tom Yankello, man, control what you can control, is so simple and yet so profound in its simplicity and like in the gravity in it, man. That I can't say how much, man, like that is really marinating in my head right now, man. And sometimes you hear things, man, that you really need to hear sometimes, man. I'm glad that actually came out of that interview, man. And if Tom Yankello sees this, shout out to him, man. That's an amazing piece of advice. And I think that's a great piece of advice to give to young fighters, because I imagine that's probably a pitfall that a lot of them encounter, just wanting stuff to happen and happen very fast for them, you know what I mean? And trying to make things happen that maybe, they're not ready to have happen yet, or maybe it's not that time for it to happen yet. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I think that's a good piece of advice. And if Tom is sharing that with young fighters, man, I think that's like, invaluable wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom, he's a wise man for sure. When it comes to boxing and everything, my man knows his boxing for sure. Tom, he's forgot more boxing in one day than a lot of these coaches know. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, absolutely.
He's a smart mind when it comes to the boxing game for sure.
Yeah. Listen, man, I appreciate you making time. When you texted me and said you were down south, I thought maybe it was something boxing related. So I appreciate it even more, man, that you joined me, man, and took some time like away from your own personal vacation, man. That means a lot, man. Glad and honored that we finally got a chance to nail down some time. I'm looking forward to watching your career develop, as my son said. Hopefully we've made a good rapport here, man. I'd love that as your career continues to progress. If you look back on my episodes, I've had a lot of the OGs on, a lot of the legends on, but what I really get a thrill on is having guys like you on, man. Those guys that are the future of the sport, the guys that are going to be the champions of tomorrow. Those are the guys that I'm glad I'm putting down roots with and can continue to have on the podcast as their careers develop. Hopefully you're one of those guys. I would love to have you back, man. It was really fun talking to you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll definitely have to catch up again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe a couple fights from now and everything. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It's finally awesome to get to meet you and stuff. Hopefully I get to meet you in person soon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I appreciate it.
I was actually just down in Erie, Pennsylvania. My son and I, who was just on here, we got an invite to actually come down there. And it was the first time for us. We went down and we actually did ringside commentating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was actually cool, man. We were down in Erie, Pennsylvania. A guy that we met.
Bizarro show?
Yep, it was the Bizarro show, and so Ernie invited us down because we've had Anthony on the show. He's become a friend of the show. We've had him on like 3 or 4 times. Great young kid, great young fighter. He won his fight. We were a little nervous because we had to do, it was an online pay-per-view. It was Bayfront and Brawl. We were down in Erie, Pennsylvania. The convention center was beautiful, but we had to do the boxing portion and the MMA portion, man, which we're a little shakier on the MMA, man. We kind of had to fake it till we made it, and kind of bluff our way through that. So there was an intermission. So first we did the boxing portion, then they moved our headsets and our audio over next to the cage, man. And but we've had a chance to listen to it back. They sent us the audio, man. I thought we held our own. We did pretty good. If you watch enough of it, and you listen to the greats, and you've watched enough hours of fighting, I don't want to say we were on a professional level, but you kind of know how the banter kind of goes, like during the course of a fight, and what stuff to talk about and when to kind of lay back and let the action kind of speak for itself. So I think we did pretty good, and it was a nice opportunity, and hopefully something that maybe we'll be able to do again. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we really enjoyed it, man. And we went down. We stayed down in a hotel. They put us up in a hotel for a couple of nights, and yeah, it was great, man. A lot of fun, man. Finally got a chance to meet Anthony, man. We've had him on the show a bunch of times, man, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Anthony's a good fighter, man. He's his career's going in a good way right now. So
yeah, and his family's got a rich history there in Erie, Pennsylvania, man. Like Bizarro, the boxing's been in the Bizarro family for a long time.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. But listen, man, this was really a pleasure, man. Enjoy the rest of your vacation, man, and stay in touch, man. We'll definitely do this, man. After we get off here, I'll shoot you my cell number, man. Keep in touch. Love to have you back on as your career continues to progress and succeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. I'll be looking out for your phone number.
All right.
And like I said, it was awesome to meet you.
Thanks, Danny. Likewise, man. And best of luck in October, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
We'll talk again soon, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Later.
Bye-bye.
And there he goes, folks. A real, true future star in this sport. Of that, I have no doubt whatsoever. And I can clearly and confidently say that because he is working with the great Tom Yankello, who I agree with everything that Danny said. One of the true great trainers out there, who also sounds like he's like these young fighters version of Yoda, dispensing that kind of Jedi wisdom. Man, I love that, man. I am going to go around, and it sounds so simple, worry about controlling what you can control. That is so profound and carries such weight with me. You know what? I'm glad that I got to hear those words as a 52-year-old man. That interview and the young Danny, who is half my age, taught me something today via, of course, hearing it from Tom Yankello. So thanks to both of them, really. But Danny Bodish, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, stand up, man. Got another future world champion on the way. I have no doubt. I'm going on record. Your boy Reckless Rexx going on record right now is saying that young man is going to do amazing things. If you haven't seen what he does, go on and watch. He's 5-0 right now, 2 knockouts, fighting at super featherweight, and he's something special to watch. I know, we joked a little bit in the beginning of the episode. Our schedules have conflicted. We've had a tough time matching up, but man, I am glad I finally got a chance to nail him down. That was a great interview with truly a great young fighter who is going to do great things in this sport. So thank you to Danny Bodish. He says he needs a nickname. I don't know. I had a couple suggestions. Maybe the people can tell me. I thought Danny Body Bag Bodish sounds good. And I also thought Danny Body Count Bodish sounded good. I guess you can kind of see what I'm doing there. His last name begins with a B-O-D. I'm kind of threading in the whole body thing. Maybe that doesn't work. He wants to let the people give it to him anyway. I'm just one of the many people. And those are just some suggestions. You go ahead and take from that what you will. I don't know. No pressure, Danny, when you watch this back. Just suggestions. And I do think you should be coming out to drowning pools. Let the bodies hit the floor. That just makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know, Danny. Take my advice for what it's worth. It's definitely not as good and is as indispensable as control what you can control. But, it's just my advice, my personal suggestions. But, man, I loved having Danny on. What a great conversation. And shout out to my boy, former co-host. Well, he's still the co-host when he wants to be and when he has the time. Frankie the Flamethrower Bengz dropping in on this episode. Man, I love to have him on here. Danny is so special. Bengz even said, I got to come in on this one. I got to interject myself into this episode because Danny is showing up on my feed, on my socials, and I see the special things that he's doing. I got to come in. I got to make a cameo. So great to have Bengz on here for a few minutes at the beginning of the episode, and great to have Danny Bodish. Truly an honor, truly a pleasure getting the chance to meet and chat with him. Hope you guys dug that episode. And now here's where I go into my shameless promotion of my little podcast here. As the summer of Hagler continues to kick ass. Man, we've been killing it this summer with some great episodes. You know what we do here, folks. The most amazing and real boxing conversations anywhere on planet Earth. Legends, luminaries, world champions, and fighters on the come up. All coming here to chop it up with your boy, Reckless Rex. And we just did another banger of an episode right there in the books. So make sure to like and follow us on Facebook. The page is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum on Facebook. Both of my podcasts, one Facebook, because I'm too lazy to carry two Facebook accounts. So you get info on both of them. If you're into the music and the arts and entertainment, we got you covered with Pod Scum. And of course, for all your pugilistic needs, we got you covered here on Off the Couch Boxing. So make sure to tap in with us on Facebook. You'll get you'll get updates on new episodes, when they're dropping, who will be on them, and any other big boxing news. If it's popping off in the fight game, your boy Reckless Rex has got you covered. I'm posting everything on there. Big fight announcements, fight results, breakdowns, analysis, predictions, viral videos. I'm telling you, man, if something's jumping off, I got you covered. You will be informed. And of course, if you're here on this channel right now, like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell to stay tapped in, because you can just go take a look at the playlist. It's undeniable that we are the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of boxing podcast. Nobody is running down the guests that we are running down on Off the Couch Boxing. Like I always say, there's literally something for everybody. And that's truly why we are the champions. And the good news is you too at home can be a champion. All you got to do is continue to stay tapped in to Off the Couch Boxing and continue to roll with the champs. Peace.